the big O notation, that is, it concentrates on the upper bound. Okay, so the upper bound, it represents the maximum growth rate of an algorithm. 3n square plus 5n plus 2. So how I can represent theta of n square? So hence it represents both the upper and lower bound. Here we have first thing, the sequential statements. So these statements are executed one after the another. That's why we say sequential statement. Hello everyone, welcome to the session 2 of Unit 1. Myself Chandana C, Faculty of Computer Science Department, Vidyashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In this session, we are in the Unit 1, Session 2 of the subject Design and Analysis of Algorithm. Right. So let us look into our agenda of today's session. What are the things we are going to discuss in this session? So in this session, I am going to discuss regarding the asymptotic notations. So under that, we are going to know, so what is big O notation, omega notation and theta notation. Next, we have the mathematical analysis for non-recursive algorithms as well as for the recursive algorithms. Okay, so we are going to study about these topics in today's session. So let us move into a asymptotic notations. So what are these asymptotic notations? So these are the mathematical tools. Okay, what are these? These are the mathematical tools used in the analysis of algorithms to describe how an algorithm running time and the space requirement grows as depends on the input size increases. Okay, as it is depends on the input size, n becomes very large. Okay, so the input size, as the input size increases, the running time as well as the space complexity both will be incremented. So it will be increased. So first thing, we have the big O notation, that is, it concentrates on the upper bound. Okay, so the upper bound, it represents the maximum growth rate of an algorithm. So here we can see how we can represent in the diagram. See, f of n which lies below the c of g of n, as it represents the rate of growth. C of g of n represents the rate of growth. Okay, it's higher than the f of n. See here, f of n equals to big O of g of n. If there exists a positive constant c and n naught such that how we can define? So here 0 is less than or equal to f of n. So 0 is less than or equal to f of n is less than or equal to c of g of n for all n is greater than or equal to n naught. So for example, this is my equation 3n square plus 5n plus 2. So what is the time complexity? Obviously, as it is concentrating on the upper bound, so here we are taking the upper bound, that is n square. We are concentrating on the upper bound. Okay, so rest of the things are ignored. Okay, constants are ignored. So that's why we represent it as big O of n square. So in the big O notation, that is the worst case. Next, we have the big omega notation. So this concentrates on the lower bound. Okay, so it represents a minimum growth rate of an algorithm. Hence, we can denote it as by the omega of g of n. So if there exists a positive constant, okay, c and n naught, such that, so we can say 0 is less than or equal to c of g of n, less than or equal to f of n. Okay, for all n is greater than or equal to n naught. So for example, here same example I am taking here, the equation 3n square plus 5n plus 2. Here, as we said, it concentrates on the lower bound. Okay, it ignores rest all the other things and it concentrates on the lower bound. So hence we can denote it as omega of n. Okay, so this will be the equation. It concentrates on the lower bound. Okay, this is how we represent in the diagram. Next, we have the big theta notation, that is tight bond. So when we can say it's a tight bond? When the function lies between the C1 and C2, the constant C1 and C2. So hence we can say in the other name, so it is sandwiched, okay. In this diagram we can see, so this is a f of n, it is lies between the C1 and C2. It is sandwiched between C1 and C2, okay. So hence we can say in the theta notation, it is a tight bond, okay. It represents both the upper and lower bounds of an algorithm. So hence f of n is equal to theta of g of n. I can write like this. So if there exist positive constants, which are those C1, C2 and n0, such that how I can write? So 0 is less than or equal to C1, g1 of n less than or equal to f of n is less than or equal to C2, g of n. So for all n greater than or equal to n0. See, for example, 3n square plus 5n plus 2. So how I can represent theta of n square? So hence it represents both the upper and lower bound. Okay. So that's why I can take the upper bound only, theta of n square. So this is about the big theta notation. So asymptotic notations are nothing but these are the mathematical tools. So used to analyze the time complexity and space complexity depends on the input size. So as the n number increases, so obviously the time complexity and space complexity will also be increased. So using three notations, so we are going to calculate the time complexity. Which are the three notations? Here we used big O, big theta and omega notations. Okay. So next we have the mathematical analysis for non-recursive algorithms. So mathematical analysis for non-recursive. So this process is going to determine the time complexity as well as the space complexity of an algorithm, so without executing it. So for non-recursive algorithms, the analysis is based on the number of times the each statement or the loop is going to execute. Okay, so without executing it, we are going to analyze it. Okay, so depends on the number of times each statement or the loop is going to execute. So there are several steps for the mathematical analysis. Which are those? Let us discuss one by one. So first is identify the basic operations. That means it may be a comparison or assignment or arithmetic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, etc. Okay, the first step is to identify the basic operation. Next we have count how many times the basic operation is going to be executed. Next, express the count as a mathematical function of the input size n. Next, simplify that function using the asymptotic notations. For example, we have big O, omega and theta. Okay, so these are the some of the steps. So we are going to analyze mathematically about the non-recursive algorithm. So what is the first step? We need to count or we need to identify the basic operations. Next, count how many times this basic operations is going to be executed. In the next step, that express the count as a mathematical function of the input size n. Okay. Next, we need to simplify that function using the asymptotic notations. So which are those asymptotic notations? We have omega, theta and big O notations. Next, we will look into examples, okay, for the non-recursive algorithm. So here we have first thing the sequential statements. So these statements are executed one after the another. That's why we say sequential statements. Here I have A equals to B plus C, D equals to A into 2, E equals to D minus 5. So here the analysis comes the number of operations. How many different operations we have used here? That is 3. Next, the time complexity will be obviously big O of 1. That means it is going to take a constant time. Okay. So next, in a single loop, when we come to a single loop, the first thing is sequential statement. So one statement is executing at once, right? So hence the number of operations is 3, it's a static, hence we can denote it by big O of 1. So next we have single loop. So for example, I have a loop for loop here. Okay, for I equals to 0, I less than n. So till n, I am going to count it. See out I. Okay. Then analysis. What is analysis? So this loop is going to execute number of times, that is n times. How many times? Till it reaches n. It is going to execute. The loop is going to execute. So the basic operation executes n times. So that hence we can say the time complexity will be big O of n. That is a linear time we can say. Okay, for the one for loop. Next, we have the two consecutive loops. So if I use two loops, okay, the first loop, n operations exactly. The second loop, that is also executes till n operations. Hence, I can say n plus n, that is equal to 2n. So, ignoring the constant, that is 2, hence I can say the time complexity will be big O of n. Understood? Next, I have the nested loops. For the nested loops, outer loop will be counted for n times. Next, inner loop n times for each outer iteration. Hence, n into n. Okay, that means n square. Hence, the time complexity will be big O of n square. Okay, so this is how we are going to analyze mathematically for the non-recursive algorithms. Next, if the loop with division by 2, then the time complexity will be big O of log n. If multiplication by 2 means, that is also big O of log n. Nested loops with different variables. Different variable means here I am taking two different variables, that is m and n. Hence it is multiplied. So big O of n into m. If it is a triangular loop, then also its time complexity will be big O of n square. Okay. So these are the some of the analysis for the different control structures. So where we can analyze the time complexity. Okay. For the different control structures. So next we have the mathematical analysis for recursive algorithms. Okay. So the recursive algorithms are the algorithms that solve a problem by calling themselves with a smaller input until a base case is reached. Okay. It calls several times by itself. So until the base case is reached. The efficiency of recursive algorithms is analyzed using recurrence relations. Okay. A recurrence relation expresses the running time of an algorithm in terms of the running time of smaller instances of the same problem. So, the recurrence relation, it is going to express the running time of an algorithm in terms of the running time of the smaller instances of the same problem. So, what is the general form of a recurrence relation? How I can denote? It's the T of n. That means time for recursive calls plus work done outside. So, where the time required for input size n, that is T of 1 or T of 0 it may be. So, hence we can say that is a constant time, that is a base case. Okay. So, by this we can tell the general format for the recurrence relation is, so we can say it is a T of 1 or T of 0 for the constant time. So, when we can say T of n, when the time required for the input size n. Okay. So, this is how we can denote T of n and T of 1. So, here we have some of the steps for the mathematical analysis for recurrence relation. So, first thing is identify the recursive call. Okay. Next, write the recurrence relation to that. After identifying, then you should write the recurrence relation. Next, identify the base case. Next, solve the recurrence using expansion, that is or substitution or a recurrence tree. Express this final result using the asymptotic notation. So, these are the 5 different steps we need to follow for the mathematical analysis of recurrence relation. First thing, we need to identify the recursive call. Next, we need to write the recurrence relation. Next, identify the base case. So, what it is going to execute. Then solve that recurrence using the expansion, or we need to substitute that. Okay, or we should write the recurrence tree for that. Next, express that final result using the asymptotic notations. So, now here we have some of the examples for the recurrence. We have taken the factorial algorithm because it calls many times itself to calculate. So, what does a factorial means? If I give 5 factorial, so what will be the output? So, it will be 120. How did I calculated 120? How did came the answer for the 5 factorial? So, it calculates like this: 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Right? That means if n equals to 5, then what is the formula? That is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 1. So, like this it goes. Right? So, here also see int factorial in 10, if n equals to 0, if I enter n equals to 0, then so what it should return? Return 1, nothing. If n is not equal to 0, then what you should do? You should do the factorial of that number, that is n into factorial of n minus 1. Okay, understood? Next, what is the recurrence relation here? I am calling many times, that is T of n minus 1 plus 1. Okay, the base case will be for one number, T of 0 is equal to 1. So, if I expand this, if I am evaluating for n, that is my input is n, that is n equals to 5 or anything it may be. For that, how it is going? T of n minus 1 plus 1, T of n minus 2 plus 2, T of n minus 3 plus 3. So, till it reaches T of 0 plus n. So, hence I can say it's a T of n is equal to n plus 1. Obviously, so it concentrates on the upper bound, then the time complexity will be big O of n for the factorial of n. Okay. So, this is how I can analyze for the recurrence relation. Next, we look into the comparison between the non-recursive as well as the recursive algorithms. So, what is the non-recursive algorithm? It uses the loops, whereas recursive, it uses the function calls. Whereas non-recursive algorithm, it uses the function call. Hence, the recursive, we are going to write the recurrence relation to that function. Next, in the non-recursive algorithm, it analyzes the statements directly, whereas in the recursive algorithm, it solves the recurrence relation. Under the non-recursive, it's simpler analysis, whereas in the recursive, more mathematical analysis is done. Okay. So, non-recursive example is a linear search, whereas for the recursive example is merge sort or a factorial. Okay. To find the factorial of a number. So, this is the comparison between the recursive and non-recursive analysis. So, by this, I am ending this session. In the next session, I am going to discuss regarding the unit 2. So, which holds the topics brute force as well as the exhaustive search. Okay. So, till then, keep studying. Thank you.